Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dee and today I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful halter top. And I just wanted to show you how you're going to take the measurements so that your top can fit you well. So what you'll do is you're going to make a chain. So the chain you'll need should be long enough, like you should measure, you should put it on yourself and make sure that you leave just some space here where you're going to tie when you crisscross it, you know, so that you can be able to pull it a little bit tighter. So you make the chain from here up to the other side. And then once you start on the design here in the middle, you're going to put it on yourself just to see where the middle part is, the center for this design here. Okay, so let's get straight into the tutorial. So these are the materials you're going to need for your today's project. I used about 1 skein and a half of robin yarn. It's 100% acrylic, and as always I'm going to be doubling my strands so I can achieve the medium weight yarn. I used a 3.5 millimeter hook. There you go. So you need some pair of scissors, you need a yarn needle and some stitch markers to mark your stitches, or you can use a different color of yarn to mark your stitches. I have made this top I think a few times and this is how I do it, so just follow along and let's get started. We're going to start our project with a slip knot, and you're going to make a chain that's long enough to go around your one rib cage to the next, just like how I have showed you at the beginning of this tutorial. So just go ahead and make that chain. I have made a chain of 93, and now we're going to start on our first row. So to do that, you're going to block off this last chain that you made with your finger like so, and you're going to add an additional of 3 chains. And once you have the 3 chains, you're going to yarn over and place a double crochet in that very chain you had blocked off. So place there a double crochet, yarn over and place another double crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to keep placing double crochets in all the stitches around for our first row. So go ahead and do that until you get to the end. And once you're done with your first row of double crochets, we're now going to start working on our second row. So you're going to chain up 3, that's 1, 2 and 3, and you're going to turn your work. So before we start our second row, we need to mark where our design is going to be. We're going to mark the center of our top. Okay, so to do that, you're going to put this like so, and once this side is even, don't stretch it. You're going to mark, you're going to insert your hook where the middle stitch is like so. Please, I need your attention on this because it can be confusing sometimes. And I used a wrong color again. So you're going to mark that middle stitch, and on our middle for the middle design we're going to be skipping 10 stitches. So you're going to count this very stitch where you have placed the hook, and you're going to use your stitch marker to mark where the 5th stitch is. So you're going to count the stitch where the hook is also. So you're counting it as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 5 stitches. So you're going to place there your stitch marker or whatever you're using to mark that stitch. You can use your strand of a different color just for you to know where you're going to place your, rather to know how many stitches you're going to skip. So on the opposite side, you're as well going to count 5 stitches, and this time you're not counting the stitch where the hook is. So you're going to count starting from the stitch next to the hook and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and place there your stitch marker, and then you can pull your hook out. So this means that we're going to be skipping these 10 stitches in the center. Okay, and now you can insert your hook again. So you're now going to yarn over and place a double crochet in the next stitch. So you're not working in this stitch next to the chain is coming out of this one here. You're going straight to this next one. So insert your hook in there and make a double crochet. Okay, that's what you should have. And then you're going to make double crochets in each stitch until you get to the stitch next to the stitch marker. So make double crochets until you get here. Okay, I now have 1 stitch left to the stitch marker. It's this one here, this 1 stitch, and you're going to yarn over and place there a double crochet. Alright, and then you're going to make a chain of 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you're going to yarn over and you're going to skip all these stitches. You're going to skip 10 stitches and make a double crochet in the 11th one. So the stitch next to the stitch marker, that's where you're placing your double crochet, and that's what you should have. And you're going to continue with your double crochets in each stitch until you get to the end. Okay, so once you get to the end, don't forget to place the double crochet in this very last stitch here. Don't skip it. Place there a double crochet. Okay, so that it can be straight like so. And then you're going to chain up 3 and turn your work. And you're going to make double crochets. You're not making the double crochet in this stitch where the chain is coming out of. You're making it in the very next one. So you're skipping this one, you're not placing the double crochet in that, you're going in this next one. Place double crochets again until you get to where the chain starts, until you get to the center. So once you get to this stitch here, don't forget to place a double crochet in this very last double crochet. So yarn over and place there a double crochet as well, like so, and then you're going to chain up 10 again. That's 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and you're going to yarn over and place a double crochet on top of this first double crochet here. So place there a double crochet, another double crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat that, making double crochets in each stitch around until you get to the end. Once you get to the end of the row, don't forget to place a double crochet in the chain. So place a double crochet in that third stitch, and then chain 3 and turn your work. Remember, we're still making this straight, and we're going to start decreasing after our 4th row. So you're going to continue making double crochets until you get to this last stitch here. Okay, so we are now here where we are supposed to start making our design. So you're going to yarn over and don't forget to place a double crochet in this very last stitch here, the one next to the chain, like so, and then you're going to chain up 5. That's 1 2 3 4 and 5, and then you're going to insert your hook under these 2 chains, okay, like so, and then you're going to make a single crochet. And then you're going to insert your hook in that same space again and make a second single crochet, and you should have something like that. And then you're going to chain up 5 again. That's 3 4 5, yarn over and make your double crochet in that very first stitch, and there you have it. And then you're going to continue with 1 double crochet in each stitch around until you get to the end, because for our next rows we're going to be decreasing. So continue with double crochets till you get to the end. Don't forget to place a double crochet in that very last stitch so that you can have this edge straight. So this is 1 2 3 4 for our 5th row. We're going to start decreasing, and to do that you're going to start with a chain 3 and turn your work, and you're going to yarn over and place your hook in this second stitch on top of this second stitch. So insert your hook and pull up a loop like how you would do a double crochet, and pull through 2. That will leave you with 2 loops on your hook. Instead of pulling through those 2 loops, you're not going to do that. You're going to yarn over and insert your hook in the next stitch. So insert your hook like so, and that will give you 1 2 3 4 loops on your hook. pull through those two loops, the first two loops, and then pull through the last 3 loops. Okay, and then you continue with your normal double crochets in each stitch until you get to the center where you have to chain 10, cross over, and make 1 double crochets on the other side as well. Okay, so once you get to this last stitch, you're going to chain up 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yarn over and cross over and make a double crochet in this first stitch, and you continue making double crochets all the way until you have 3 stitches left. Alright, so now we have 3 stitches left, and I say 3 because we're going to place a double crochet in this very last chain, this very last one. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and we're now going to make a decrease at the end, just like we did at the beginning of this row. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, and pull up a loop, and that will give you 3 loops on your hook. Pull through 2, and you'll have 2 left, and then you're going to yarn over, and this time go in the next stitch and pull up a loop like so, and that will give you 4 loops on your hook, and then you pull through 2, and that will leave you with 3 on your hook, and then pull through all 3, and then you're going to make a double crochet in that very last stitch, that chain, and there you have done your second decrease. Then you're going to chain 3 and turn your work, and you're going to make another decrease. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to yarn over, go in this next stitch here, pull up a loop, we'll have 3 left on your hook, pull through 2, which will leave you with 2, yarn over again and insert your hook in the next stitch and pull up a loop, and then you'll have 4, and pull through 2 and pull through the last 3 on your hook, and then you continue making 1 double crochet in each stitch around, and of course chaining 10 in the center and making another decrease at the end. Every time you get to the center here, don't forget that last stitch, and then you chain 10. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then yarn over and make a double crochet in the next stitch, and you repeat that until you have 3 stitches left at the end. Alright, so I have 3 stitches left, and you're going to insert your hook in the next one and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 on your hook, pull through 2, you'll have 2 left, and then you're going to yarn over and go in the next space right in there and pull up a loop. You'll have 4 on your hook, and then you pull through 2, you'll have 3 left, and pull through all 3, and then you yarn over and place a double crochet in that very last chain. So for our next row, you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and you're going to make a decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, you'll have 3 left on your hook, and then pull through 2, you'll have 2 left, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and you'll have 4 on your hook, and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through the last 3. And then you continue with your double crochets until you get to the center. Okay, so every time you get to the center here and you have these 2 chains, it means that you're going to make this design here, and in order to achieve it, you're going to chain up 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you're going to insert your hook underneath, like under those 2 chains, and make a single crochet like so, and then you make a second single crochet in that same space, and then you chain up 5 again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you yarn over and place a double crochet in the very first stitch, and that's what you will have. And you continue with doing making double crochets, make double crochets until you have 3 stitches left. Okay, so every time you have the chain and the next every time you have these two next stitches and the chain, you're going to decrease here at the end. So you just make your decrease like so, and then end it with a double crochet in the chain, and then you chain up 3 and make another decrease. So you're making decreases every time you're ending the row, and when you turn you decrease again on both sides, of course. And then let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to repeat row this is 1, 2, 3, 4, row 5, 6, and 7. You're going to repeat row 5, 6, and 7, and you're going to keep repeating that until your top is smaller, or you can put it against yourself just to see if it fits around the neck how you want it to be. I'm going to make 27 rows, and I'll get back and show you what to do next. So as I work on my top, I noticed that one side was slightly bigger than the other one, and I needed to fix that on camera so that you guys can know how to go about it, just in case you encounter the same issue with your top. So what we're going to do is we're going to decrease on the bigger side and not decrease on the smaller side. And if you can place your top like this, and you see that it's not even, then you might need to do this. But if yours is even, you don't have to do this, so you can skip it. Yeah, so skip this part if your top is even. This is for those whose top wasn't even, and I did this for a total of 2 rows, and I started decreasing on both sides again. So I ended up making 28 rows just so I can complete this set here, and we're now going to work on our mesh stitch here around the neck. And this is optional if you don't want to do this. If you want to continue with this stitch, you can just go right ahead. So to make our mesh stitch, you're going to chain up 3 and turn your work. And you're going to make a decrease, just like how you have been decreasing. So make your decrease and then chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, yarn over, skip the next stitch and make a double crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat this. Okay, skip the next, chain 1, so once you get to this, as you can see here, I'm left with 1 stitch, so don't skip it, just place the double crochet even if there is no stitch to skip. Okay, and then you're going to chain 10 like how you have been doing, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, then yarn over and make a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a double crochet, and you just repeat the same thing you just did on the other side of our top. Okay, you're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and now you're going to make a decrease in these last 2 stitches, just like how you've been doing, like so. Yarn over and place your last double crochet in the last chain from the previous row. And once you're done with this row, this is what you should have. And then you're going to chain up 3 and turn your work. So now you're going to we're going to make another decrease here, and this is going to be our last decrease. So to do that, you're going to insert your hook on top of the 2 stitches that you decreased from your previous row. So you're going to yarn over and insert your hook there, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over again, and this time you're going to go on top of this stitch. Hope you can see that, on top of that stitch, and then make that decrease, and then you chain 1, make a double crochet on top of your previous double crochet, chain 1, double crochet on top of your previous double crochet, and you're going to repeat this until you get to the end of the row. All right, so once you get to the end, you have this one stitch remaining and your last 2 stitches that you decreased from your previous row, and you're going to chain 1. I already chained, and then yarn over, and you're going to make a decrease here. There, and it's done. And then you're going to make a double crochet in this last chain that you made, and that's what you should have. Okay, for our last row now, we're going to chain up 3 and turn your work, and you're going to make a double crochet on top of this next stitch, like so. Chain 1, make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet from your previous row, and you're going to repeat this until you get to the end of the row. Yeah, so when you get here in the center, you're going to chain 5 and make the 2 single crochets, chain 5 again, yarn over, and make a double crochet on top of the very first double crochet. Chain 1, make a double crochet on top of your previous double crochet, and repeat until you get to the end. Okay, so we're ending our row with a double crochet in this very last chain. And this is what you should have. Okay, so for our next row now, what we're going to do next is that we're going to make a chain that's going to be tied around the neck area, and you're just going to make a long chain, So I'm making a chain that's going to be long enough for me to crisscross at the back. So I'm making I'm going to make 2 chains. It should be super long if you want to do it the same way I'm doing it, or you can decide to make the 1 chain here, another one here, and then you make more chains down from where the top starts from. Okay, so I think my chain is now long enough to how I want it. Yeah, it's now long enough. And I like making I don't like making these small chains because they sometimes hurt around the back, especially for people who have a big bust. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to make a slip stitch in the 5th stitch. Okay, and that's what you should have. Then you chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and count 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th stitch, you're going to make a slip stitch there, and you're going to repeat this around the whole chain until you get to this end. And this is optional. If you don't like to do it like how I'm doing, you can feel free to cut the yarn and then wait for the next step. Counting 4 stitches and then making a slip stitch in the next chain. Chain 4, skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch in the 5th one, so by doing this it gives you that it's a bit thicker than the other one. So just go ahead and do this until you get to where the chain starts from. So once you get to once you get back to where you started off chaining from, you're going to chain up 5 or 4. It really doesn't matter. So that's 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to slip stitch in this space here, that one, slip stitch in there, and it will give you will have a long strand that you will crisscross at the back of your top. So now we're going to make single crochets around this edge so that we can give it a clean edge, and as we do it we're going to leave some, well, you can leave 2 or 3 loops where your strand is going to pass as you crisscross it at the back. So make single crochets in that first loop, another 2 single crochets, you know, like there are tops that one can make, and when you go through the stitches like so while doing these single crochets, it leaves this big space in between. I hope you see it clearly. As you can see, it leaves that big space, especially if your not working around this mesh area, because here it's fine since it was mesh, the mesh stitch. But once you get to these other stitches, it's always good to, I always like try to pull a strand or a piece of yarn from the next stitch to this last one. I will explain it better when I use a better yarn, because this one is a bit dark and you may not get it, but you're going to place single crochets all the way around, but don't forget to leave like 2 loops where you will pass your strand. And to do that, to make the loop, chain 3, and to make the loop you're going to chain 3 and skip you're going to skip the next row and then place a single crochet into the next one. Alright, and by doing that it gives you this big loop, and then you pass there your strand at the back. So make single crochets, so like I said, we're going to need the loops where we're going to, where the strand is going to pass, and I'm not counting like where I want it, but you can just leave them there, right? So now I'm going to show you how to make the loop where you're going to, where your strand is going to pass when you crisscross it at the back. Alright, so you're going to chain up 3, and then you're going to skip. As you can see, you can just skip this next row and place a single crochet into the next space. We're just leaving some space where this strand is going to pass, our chain is going to pass there, so just skip some space so that you can get this loop. And once you're done, continue with your single crochets, and you can make as many loops as you want. Okay, so I'm making my last loop right at the end here. So you're just going to chain 3 like how you did on the rest of the loops, and then you're going to single crochet here, make another single crochet in that same space, and then a slip stitch. Oops. Make a slip stitch and then chain 1, and then you can cut your yarn and you're done with this side. So you're going to do the same exact thing you did on this side to the other side. You can attach your yarn anywhere at this side or up and make the same chain. and then you will be done. That will be it. So go ahead and do that, and I'll get back just to show you how you're going to crisscross it at the back. So this is how our top looks, guys. I added the 2 straps, and you're just going to crisscross them across your top at the back. And then you can tie it here. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know this wasn't the best tutorial for me. I wasn't really feeling good, but yeah, thank you for passing by, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'll see you all in my next one.